How's it going, boys? Johnny Superb Man here, bringing you another What Do You Think About Playoff Predictions video. That's right, we're off to round two, and I know this video is a bit late. Jesus, the first round ended, and then the second round started up 2 days later. Man, I didn't get ahead of I didn't get it done in time, but I can still do the predictions, and they're not going to change just because New York and Phoenix and Nashville and Washington have already played their first game. No, 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 I'm not going to change my predictions because I already know the outcomes of those games. But first, we'll start off in the Western Conference because these four teams, man, I mean, again, I was 1 for 8 on my predictions, okay? 1 for 8. Oh, no, sorry, 2 for 8. New Jersey and the Rangers both won. I was 2 for 8. In the Western Conference, 0 for 4. So, the Western Conference, I mean, the teams, I really don't know too much about still. I've watched a few games, but not like I've watched the Eastern Conference. So, we'll start off Phoenix versus Nashville. And this, you know what? It could be a very stingy series, okay? I mean, Mike Smith, Pekka Rinne, both teams are great defensively. But in the first game, I mean, it was 4-3 in overtime. So some goals were going in, but they were funky little goals, right? Both teams, I mean, Phoenix, they're in a great spot. I mean, if you have to say Phoenix has to face Nashville in the second round, I got nothing against Nashville, but you know they could have faced some tougher teams there in the second round, in my opinion. Nashville got a great team to face in the second round here. Phoenix, I got to give the edge to Nashville Predators. I know, boys, I don't give them that much love. I know, but I don't know. I want to see them do something first. They got to get by this second round. And the first game, they dropped to Phoenix. Phoenix beat them in the first round. I don't know what it is about Phoenix, man. They might be the real deal this year. That's what I mean about the Western Conference. It's just all up in the air. And this series could be all up in the air. Nashville, I think, does have the experience. They were here last year. Their stars have been here last year. This is the first time for Phoenix. They got their first win in the second round ever for their franchise ever last night or 2 nights ago or whenever it was, I forget. So that was good for them. But if I have to predict one of these teams, I got to pick the Nashville Predators. Even though they're down 0-1, I still think they come back and maybe in 6 or 7 games. I think the Nashville Predators are going to take it. Mike Smith, unbelievable how this guy's been playing. And I bet Steve Yzerman wishes he didn't trade Mike Smith away or let him go. I forget how he left Tampa Bay, but he kept rolling over Mike Smith. That's looking real bad right now. And Mike Smith, if Phoenix is going to win the series, Mike Smith has got to steal it for them. But I'm going to go with Nashville, all right, boys? The next round, the St. Louis Blues versus the LA Kings. And if you thought the other series was going to be stingy, this is going to be the ultimate stingy series, okay? Both teams, the two best defensive teams in the NHL during the regular season, okay? Both these teams, 1-2 for goals against per game. So don't expect to see a lot of goal scoring in this, a lot of trap, a lot of chip and chase. I think the LA Kings have the experience. Even though the St. Louis Blues finished really good in the regular season, LA just barely made it into the playoffs. I still think the LA Kings have the advantage. I do. They played great against the Vancouver Canucks. It seems like their team, their forwards are just going. Like, they're using their body. They're really getting in there. They really want it this year. And if it comes down to a tie, then for me, it's whatever team has the better goalie. And Jonathan Quick right now is just unbelievable. Nothing against Brian Elliott. You know, Yaroslav Halak got injured. Brian Elliott came in playing great. But Jonathan Quick, I think this may be the year that Jonathan Quick gets put on the map in the NHL. I mean, real people who watch hockey all the time, they know the name Jonathan Quick, but it's not until you get into the Stanley Cup Finals when your name becomes mainstream, okay? I think this might be the year for Jonathan Quick. I don't know. If he's going to have another great series, then I got to give the edge to the LA Kings. Sorry, St. Louis, all right? The LA Kings, in my opinion, they have the better forwards and they got the better goalie. But it should be a good series, okay? Probably going to go to 6 or 7. 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1, you know, those kind of games. But if I got to choose a team, the LA Kings. All right, so there's the Western Conference. Let's move over to the Eastern Conference now. And up first, the New York Rangers versus the Washington Capitals. And I didn't even know. I knew 2 games were on today. I didn't know it was an early game. I missed the whole freaking game. I hate myself. I know. But the Washington Capitals lost to the Rangers 3-1. And you know what? The Rangers, if they're going to win the Stanley Cup, they have to beat the Washington Capitals en route to the Stanley Cup, okay? Washington has been the teams that knocked them out the last 2 times, I believe, maybe even 3 times, I can't remember. Last 2 times for sure. So if the Rangers are going to go far, it's almost It's like a story. They got to go through the Washington Capitals, all right? I think they have the advantage this year. I think the New York Rangers do have the advantage. Lundqvist and Holtby have both been playing amazing, okay? Unbelievable. Holtby won that series for Washington against the Boston Bruins. But if I have to choose one goalie, I got to give it to Lundqvist, okay? He's got the experience. Holtby, I mean, he's doing good, but you can still think that it might be a flash in the pan, okay? It's only been 7 games. Okay, let's see what he does here in the second round here. I got to give the advantage to Lundqvist. If Washington wants to get by the New York Rangers, Ovechkin has got to wake up. Yeah, he had a few points against Boston, but again, Holtby won that series for Washington. Sorry, Holtby and their grinders. Ovechkin was a non-factor in that series. If Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals want to beat the Rangers, Ovechkin's got to get a few more goals to help his goaltender out, okay? Ovechkin, you really got to wake up. And the same can be said for Marian Gaborik, all right? Gaborik did nothing in that series against Ottawa. Yeah, he had a few assists there. In that last game, he had a good back check to save a goal. But Gaborik and Ovechkin, they're paid how much? They're goal scorers. They need to be getting points for your team every single game, okay? That's what they're paid to do. So Ovechkin and Gaborik both need to wake up. And if one of them do, you got to watch out for that team, okay? If Ovechkin wakes up, watch out for Washington. If Gaborik wakes up, watch out for the Rangers, all right? And also, the first goal could be the difference in each one of these games, all right? If the Rangers score the first goal, well, guess what? They get to play their defensive style, and the Washington Capitals have to attack them, all right? Same thing with Washington, all right? If they get that first goal, then the Rangers don't get to play their style of defense. So I think the first goal scored in every single game could be huge in this series, all right? And if I have to pick one team, I got to go with the New York Rangers. I think this is the year they beat the Washington Capitals, and I think the Rangers are going on to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, okay? And last but not least, the New Jersey Devils versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, every other series to me looks like a defensive series. This looks like an offensive series. Just because Brizgalov and Brodeur, they really haven't stolen any games for their teams during the first round, especially Brizgalov. I mean, good God. If his team didn't score as many goals as they did, if Fleury didn't shit the bed like he did, Philadelphia might be saying the same thing that they said for the last few years. Another playoffs, another goaltender question mark, all right? But he's in the second round. He does possess the skill to maybe steal a game or two. You never know. But I do think it's going to be an offensive series. But if Brizgalov or Brodeur wake up, you got to give the edge to that team, okay? So, should be interesting. But I still got to pick the Philadelphia Flyers. These guys had a great first round against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Philadelphia, they're so deep. Defense, offense, they have rookies who are scoring goals. Claude Giroux is just unbelievable. Another breakout party player. If he goes to the finals, that name Giroux, man, it's going to get well known. It already is well known, but again, mainstream. You got to get to the final to be mainstream. Okay, for your casual hockey player to know the name. And Giroux, he's doing it, man. This guy, Peter Laviolette called him the best player in the world. Now, I know he is his head coach, but still, that's a big compliment. And he's playing like it right now, so should be very interesting. But the reason I really want to watch this series, I think it's going to be a scrappy series, okay? These guys are rivals, Atlantic Division. I think there's going to be some fights in this series. So if I got to choose one team, it's got to be the Philadelphia Flyers. Absolutely. So I'm picking Philadelphia versus New York in the Eastern Conference Finals and Nashville versus the LA Kings in the Western Conference Finals. A crazy Final Four this year, boys. We'll see if I can actually get one right. Watch me go 0 for 4 in this one. I know. Or 0 for 4. Alright, so there's my predictions, and come round 3, I'll make another prediction video. Okay, boys? For Johnny Superb Man and the Great Domsky, take it easy, and we'll see you next time.